Latest update on a storm that could develop in the Gulf and where it is expected to hit.
Plus, we're breaking down the push to redraw some Texas congressional districts, while the DOJ says it's time. The pushback from Democrats and thoughts from local politicians.
And we are hearing from the city of Beaumont about big changes to their traffic lights at some major intersections, how local officials say that this is going to keep drivers safe. 12 News Daybreak starts now.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us on 12 News Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Armstrong. It's 7:01 and all eyes they are on the tropics this morning. Check out this disturbance that has now moved into the Gulf. We've been following this system the past couple of days after it started gathering momentum off the east coast of Florida earlier in the week. And of course, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters, and Jeff Gerber, he's standing by in our weather with our weather impact team, and he's got all the latest updates on this storm. Or it's not a storm yet, but Jeff, tell us all about it and the impacts here for us here in southeast Texas.
Yeah, right now it's just kind of a weak disturbance or almost a tropical wave as it moves just to the south of the Florida Panhandle. Very disorganized, so it's going to take a little bit before it would organize into maybe a tropical depression or a tropical storm. At this point, if it hugs this coastline all the way across into looks like Louisiana, chances of development are pretty low. If it gets a little bit farther out into the Gulf, could see a tropical depression. Looks like whatever does develop will be very weak, as it's just, like I said, just not organized at all, and so close to land that it will have a hard time really developing. Hurricane Center says this is a 40% chance of developing into a tropical system right now. You can see it's actually situated up into parts of the Florida Panhandle now in the latest update here as it moves off towards the west. So we'll continue to watch it. A lot of rain associated with this. It looks like the bulk of the rain is going to be moving into eastern parts of Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, probably picking up some pretty heavy rain from this. That rain will also translate over into southeast Texas. Looks like Friday into Saturday, and we might pick up maybe about 1 to 3 inches of rain with this. The latest computer trends take it right into Louisiana and then kind of turn it off towards the north. A couple of computer tracks push it all the way over here, but by that time it won't be much of anything as it moves right across southern Louisiana. But the bulk of the computer tracks takes it up into northern parts of Louisiana, northern parts of Mississippi. So looks like at this point we might not see any type of development right now. Winds are at 30 miles an hour with this right now, and it's moving to the west at about 10. So we'll continue to track it as we go through the next couple of days. No rain today, just hot, humid, temperatures around 93, 94, a little bit of a southwesterly wind at about 5 to 10 with partly cloudy skies. We'll have more in the tropics and more on your weekend forecast coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, Jeff. The search continues this morning in Kerr County for those missing after the deadly July 4th flash flood.
Officials now confirm 107 people have died in Kerr County alone, with 131 dead statewide. According to Governor Abbott, the number of missing people has dropped to 97 as crews work to verify reports and account for survivors. If those still missing aren't found alive, this would become the second most deadly natural disaster in Texas history, surpassed only by the Galveston hurricane of 1900. Meanwhile, Texas country singer Pat Green will hold a live-streamed benefit concert this evening.
Yeah, Green's brother, his brother's wife, and 2 of their children, they were among those lost in the floods. Now, it's happening tonight at Globe Life Field. It's going to be streamed on YouTube with no audience in attendance. Other artists, including Miranda Lambert and Dierks Bentley, they're also going to be performing or appear at the show. Now, the concert, that begins at 6:30. And first responders from Jasper County, they are working to help their fellow first responders in the Hill Country dealing with the aftermath there at Ground Zero.
They're hosting a flood relief drive this Friday with all of the proceeds going directly to the Hill Country. The benefit will be set up at Do Good Federal Credit Union on South Wheeler and Jasper. It starts at 10 a.m. You can get a barbecue sandwich, chips, cookies, and bottled water for $10, and they will deliver. They're also accepting monetary donations. The proceeds will help replace lost and damaged equipment for Hill Country first responders. You can visit the Beech Grove VFD Facebook page for more info.
And we're also partnering with our other TEGNA TV stations here in Texas for our flood relief drive, and you've already helped us raise more than $442,000. The money we will provide direct support to flood victims. So please scan that QR code right there on your screen and make a donation. And with less than a week before the start of the next special session at the legislature in Austin, one item on Governor Greg Abbott's agenda is congressional redistricting.
Yeah, he added it after receiving a letter from the Department of Justice warning him that 4 districts are out of compliance. 12 News reporter Derek Jones explains what that means for the state. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Mark and Tia, the DOJ claims these congressional districts are unconstitutional because of what it calls racial gerrymandering in a letter sent to Governor Abbott last Monday. According to the Texas Tribune, all 4 seats are held by Black or Latino Democrats. Chairman of the Jefferson County Republican Party, Joe Evans, and Democratic District 22 State Representative Christian Manuel spoke to 12 News about what this could mean for the state.
It's going to change districts throughout the entire state, whether they are white, Democratic, Republican. It's very unusual, and I think it's going to be very damaging to the state.
Districts need to be drawn or redrawn to make sure that people are receiving the proper representation that they should be receiving in Congress. I think it's a good thing. I think when we gerrymander and rig things up to suit ourselves, it's always a bad thing.
These districts are in violation of the Voting Rights Act of 1964, where 2 minority groups form a single minority district. Manuel will be the only member there on a redistricting committee representing Southeast Texas. And Evans says this will be a long legal battle. In studio, Derek Jones, 12 News.
On that for updates. Thank you so much, Derek. Certain traffic lights around Beaumont are catching drivers' attention because of how unusual they look. The spotlights at intersections like College and MLK now have slats on them. This means when you're driving, you can't tell what color the light is from a distance until you get closer. The city says it's intentional, and the lights have been set up at 6 different major intersections around town.
Yeah, the idea is that drivers are going to have to slow down, reducing any confusion and reducing your speed, hopefully minimizing the number of crashes in Beaumont. 12 News reporter Spencer Plato, she explains.
As you're going down the road, when you have back-to-back traffic signals, and it's to make sure that the drivers are receiving the correct instruction from the traffic control device.
Driving down College at MLK, you might wonder why you can't see if the light is red or green until you're approaching it.
So by putting those little louvers on there, it's almost like Venetian blinds to kind of block that the driver's view until they're in the correct spot to then follow the instructions of that traffic signal.
Beaumont Public Works Director Amalia Villarreal says major intersections see an increase in collisions, traffic incidents, and speeding complaints. BPD's Traffic Unit Sergeant Eric Wilson says he's had a near miss himself.
I was actually eastbound on College Street. I had stopped at MLK. I saw the light on the other side turn green, thinking it was mine, and I proceeded through, only to look up and see my light was still red. Did not have a wreck, thankfully.
Wilson believes the slatted lights could be beneficial to drivers.
Pay attention and make sure your light's green before you proceed into the intersection. It'll save everybody a lot of heartache and potential injury from a collision.
Villarreal says it's important for them to be placed where it's necessary.
We really don't want to interfere with the actual visibility of the signal, so we have to be judicious in the use of them. But if we do need to, we will have to install them because the public's safety is our top priority.
And the most recent installation, that's at 11th Street and Washington Boulevard.
Yeah, we're told there are no plans for additional installations, but the city will continue to monitor the existing ones and consider more if needed. And Mark, throughout this story, we were kind of talking, you said you've noticed those lights around town.
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of them. Southeast Texas, too many drivers running red lights, especially at these intersections where you can't see the cross traffic. These do work. I'm very excited to see this.
Yeah, whatever it takes to kind of get control of those crashes and stuff happening.
It certainly will help.
All right. And it is now 7:09. A tariff on tomatoes from Mexico could mean higher prices. So we're looking at what this means for shoppers locally.
Yeah, a 17% tariff that was placed on all fresh tomatoes from Mexico Monday. The Trump administration says that this gives American farmers a production boost, but Texas Representative Sylvia Garcia says 30,000 Texas jobs are now at risk. Now, we spoke with the AgriLife Extension Office in Beaumont about how this is going to affect you.
It won't be an immediate effect, but you will see an effect, kind of a delayed effect. We hope that most of the costs can be absorbed through the production, things like that, and that the end consumer will see a small but negligible impact.
Now, while the tomato tariff was imposed Monday, the 30% tariff on Mexico, that's not going to take effect until August 1st.
Some of the everyday foods we eat, even the healthy ones, might be hiding harmful bacteria. Now, last year's most dangerous foods have been identified. Steve Stacker has those details.
With foodborne illness outbreaks making headlines, some shoppers are being extra cautious.
It's bothersome, so that's why I make sure that I clean all my vegetables and fruit.
We do buy organic as much as we possibly can.
Those are good moves, but they aren't enough to protect you. The CDC says tens of millions of Americans get sick from contaminated food every year, some of it organic. Last year, recalls linked to E. coli, salmonella, and listeria jumped 41% compared to the year before, and related hospitalizations and deaths more than doubled.
For seniors, very young children, or anyone with a compromised immune system, even consuming a very small amount of this bacteria can be life-threatening.
Consumer Reports has identified the top offenders from last year: leafy greens and deli meat, onion, cucumbers, and organic carrots and organic basil, eggs, raw milk cheese, and soft cheeses like queso fresco. Contamination can happen anywhere along the food chain, on the farm, during processing, even in your own kitchen.
Recent budget cuts could limit what the food agencies can do. That's why it's so important to know how to protect yourself at home.
To minimize risk, always cook meat to the right internal temperature using a thermometer. Use separate cutting boards for raw meat and produce. Clean surfaces thoroughly. And skip rinsing raw meat, which can spread bacteria. Store meat on the lowest shelf of the fridge and never leave food out for longer than 2 hours or 1 hour if it's hot outside.
Still ahead, we're talking BPD officer recruitment, retention, and wellness with Chief Tim Aknashek, who's in studio with us this morning. Plus, the 2025 Emmy nominations are out. Your trending news coming up.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Are you looking for qualified employees? You'll find them at the 12 News Job Fair, Thursday, July 24th at the MCM Elegante from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Collect applications, do initial job screenings, or hold complete interviews. The 12 News Job Fair is attended by hundreds of applicants ready to work. Call 409-833-7512 to find out how you can be a part of the 12 News Job Fair, July 24th at the MCM Elegante. Reserve your booth today. As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, "Don't mess with Texas," means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, "Don't mess with Texas" means don't litter.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn here with one of the most important hurricane tips, having an evacuation plan. First, gather food, water, and medicine before storing it in an emergency kit. Plan well in advance where you're going, how you'll get there, and if you'll need to transport any pets, small children, or the elderly. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
All right, welcome back. The 2025 Emmy nominations, they are in this year's race. It's filled with fan favorites and exciting newcomers. In the comedy category, The Bear, Hacks, and Abbott Elementary, they are all nominated, along with fresh picks like Nobody Wants This and The Studio. Severance, that show, that's leading all shows with 27 nominations. I love that show. Now followed by The Penguin with 24 and White Lotus with 23 nominations. The 77th Emmy Awards airs on September 14th.
Out the door this morning, you'll run into temperatures in the 70s and really mostly clear skies. See a few high clouds here and there. Here's the view from Packard LaPrade in downtown Beaumont, part of the Roofing 911 Live SkyCam network. Currently 79 downtown, humidity at 86%, and winds are pretty calm. A little bit light west wind at about 1 mile per hour. Temperature-wise, in the middle to lower 70s, 73 right now in Beaumont, 73 Kirbyville, and then 72 in Jasper. A little warmer, 74 towards Woodville, Orange, and then Silsbee and Port Arthur at about 75. Very quiet across the state of Texas. Good news is there's nothing going on towards the hill country. Central Texas is quiet this morning, so good news for those folks trying to clean up over there and recover from the floods, and hopefully those workers over there will continue to be able to find some folks in the debris over in that part of Texas. As we look over towards the northeastern Gulf, we're looking at this area of low pressure. It's a little bit of a spin in the atmosphere right now. It's over the Florida Panhandle. It's drifting off towards the west pretty slowly, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. And this is very disorganized. Part of it's over land, so it's really not having a chance to get its act together. And if it continues to do this, kind of travel right along that Gulf Coast, right along the coast there, we won't expect to see any type of organization with this. Right now, Hurricane Center is giving it a 40% chance of developing as we go through the next few days. Looks like by late Thursday into Friday, it'll probably push right into eastern parts of Louisiana. So it's not going to have those 7 days. It's going to have more like 48 hours to try to develop. And if it does get out into that northern Gulf right there for a little while, maybe a tropical depression. At this point, like I said, it's so close to land. Chances of it maybe developing are pretty small. Here are the latest computer trends or computer models. It takes it right into eastern parts of Louisiana and then kind of pushes it towards the north. Bulk of the rain is going to be over towards New Orleans, Baton Rouge, but some of that rain will make it over into southeast Texas here. It looks like Friday into Saturday. We're not talking about a ton of rain, maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain for a couple of days there. That's about it. So right now we'll continue to track it, but it doesn't look like it's going to get too organized. So some good news there as far as that weather system. Futurecast showing temperatures climbing through the 80s this morning, middle 90s for highs today with the heat index up in the lower 100s. So take care out in the heat, stay hydrated. We'll be back into the 80s this evening and then 70s as we start off going into your Thursday morning. As we go towards Thursday night, we'll start to see a few showers. I'll show you that in the 7-day here in a second. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the middle 90s today, southwesterly winds at 3 to 8, partly cloudy, and a little bit of a calm wind tonight, back into the middle to lower 70s once again. 7-day forecast shows a few rain showers on Thursday, and then here comes the bulk of that rain Friday into Saturday, 70 to 50% coverage, maybe, like I said, 1 to 3 inches of rain here and there. Sunday, things will start to dry out a little bit, 20% coverage of rain, and then Monday and Tuesday it looks hot and dry with highs in the middle 90s.
Thank you, Jeff. It's always good to know what's going on within your local police department, and this morning we are talking officer recruitment, retention, and wellness at BPD, that's Beaumont Police Department. Of course, for our monthly check-in with the chief, we've got Police Chief Tim Oknishek in studio with us. How you doing this morning, Chief?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay, big topic here. You gave us a quick interview at 6:30, and you told us that vacancies at BPD, that's kind of a moving target, usually about 10 to 15 or so. You hire more folks retire, things like that. So talk about recruitment. What does BPD do for recruitment?
Well, we do start young. Like I mentioned before, we try to talk to the schools. We have a public safety cadet program. We have a practicum in policing partnership with Lamar, where students, before they get to maybe an age to be a full-time police officer, can be exposed to what police do for a living, maybe have a chance to work in dispatch or ID unit, or doing forensics, doing records. There's a lot of jobs that are not just sworn jobs in the police department, so we try to work people in. We offer people, we pay for them to go through the academy, and so they can start even before they start working full-time, getting paid by the police department.
Chief, what are the challenges or maybe the hesitations that you might hear from young officers or people considering a life in public safety? I'm sure when you started off I don't want to say many years ago, but I'm sure you had a lot of folks that were lined up to become a police officer, and that might not be the case anymore. And I hear that's the case, across the country.
Well, there is a lot to do with work-life balance, safety issues, community support. We're very fortunate in Southeast Texas to have strong community support. We probably average, this time we had about 166 people apply to be our latest officer application period. Sometimes it's 200, 250, or even 300.
So you're seeing the numbers. People are showing up.
They're showing up.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not, we just want to make sure we have fully qualified candidates. Right. We're asking for assistance with the community recruit. Y'all are our best recruiters. Mm-hmm. We're our own best recruiters. So, if that's somebody you would want to show up to your house and handle an issue, that's somebody you'd want to talk to on the street. That's who we want to try to campaign to get apply for us.
Glad to hear that you have high standards down there at Beaumont Police Department. Once you get them in the door, how do you keep them there? Let's talk retention a little bit.
That's a huge, important issue. One of the standards, it appears nationally, is 3 to 5 year turnover for the newest generation of officers, and that's a struggle. However, it's something that we are trying to work with. Sometimes we lose people to other agencies. Well, they're coming back. The grass is not always greener. We
could be busier in that other department.
It could, and that's, we are a busy department. We're a large department, though. We have broad opportunities for people if they want to do something like mental health, or work in police community relations, or work as a detective. Different types of investigations, so that really helps us.
Chief, I want to give you, as we just have 30 seconds left here, and of course we're running out of time once again, just real briefly, officer wellness, that's huge, and you guys do a lot with that, but what do you want the public to know about that?
Well, it's important to take care of ourselves, and we have peer support programs, mental health programs, not just to help the community and in the responses that we do, but also to help each other, help our families, make sure we come to work in the right frame of mind, make sure we're physically fit with fitness opportunities, and try to do the best we can as far as facilities, pay, just employee standards.
Got to wrap you up here, Chief. Thank you so much for sharing this all with us. I know it all starts with leaning on one another there in the police department, so glad to hear that y'all are doing that. All right, here's a live look outside from our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. We're going to be right back with more news and weather.
This is a tornado on the ground.
And the roads are slippery.
We have a tropical storm warning.
Look at this water.
Street flooding in Beaumont.
It is going to get extremely cold.
The metal building blew away from a business. Staying safe behind the wheel is imperative.
Find a safe spot, move to an interior room.
Just make sure you're staying safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
It's time to honor our local educators with the 12 News Golden Apple Awards. Once a month, 12 News will surprise an educational staff member who has gone above and beyond to make a positive impact on the lives of Southeast Texas students. Nominate your educator by going to 12newsnow.com/golden apple to do your part in showcasing the heroes that make a difference both inside and outside the classroom. The Golden Apple Awards every month on 12 News.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip. Stay connected. Sign up for free emergency alerts from your local county and plan on to monitor the latest local weather and news at 12newsnow.com. Being aware of any new information will be invaluable. And finally, know the types of alerts you may receive. A watch means be prepared, while a warning means act. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back. A quick look at our coastal marine forecast for today. Calling for a southwesterly wind at 5 to 10 knots. Seas about 2 feet near the coast. Next high tide is coming up at 8:22 this morning. We'll see a late one at 9:11. Our sunrise was at 6:26. Our sunsets at 8:18. Water temperature about 86 there into the Gulf. Look for a light chop on the inland lakes and bays today. Little chance for rain. Rain chances do increase towards the weekend. We'll be looking at that in the next half hour.
All right, Jeff, coming up, all eyes are on the Gulf and as a disturbance is brewing out there. And Jeff, he's going to bring you the latest on that and its impacts here in Southeast Texas coming up.
Plus the latest on search and recovery efforts from the Texas Hill Country and how Southeast Texas is stepping up to help.
And coverage denied. We are talking home insurance non-renewals, what a Mauriceville family faced after their house caught fire.
And it is now 7:27, taking a live look outside at the skies of Beaumont. We'll be right back on 12 News Plus.
Good morning, Southeast Texas. Thanks for joining us here on 12 News Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Mark Armstrong.
And I'm Tia Johnson. The time now 7:30. We're keeping an eye on the tropics this morning. Check out this disturbance that has now moved into the Gulf. We've been following this system the past couple of days after it started gathering momentum off the east coast of Florida earlier in the week. Of course, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters, and our weather impact team has been tracking the latest. Meteorologist Jeff Gerber can tell us what we can expect here in Southeast Texas.
And right now, it looks like all we're going to get is maybe some rain Friday and Saturday as this disturbance tracks into Louisiana as we head towards late Thursday going into Friday. Right now, centered up close to Panama City, so it's actually kind of partially on the Florida Panhandle for this morning. Very disorganized when you got a storm system that's half over land, half out in the Gulf. You're not going to see too much organization there. It might drift into this open water here just south of Mobile as we head towards, say, tonight into tomorrow. And that might give us a little bit of a chance for some organization, maybe a tropical depression. But right now, it looks like chances are not the greatest for this thing to organize, which is good news. It's still going to bring a lot of rain into parts of Louisiana, places like New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette. And as that moisture pushes over towards us, we'll see it thin out some. But we'll pick up maybe about 1 to 3 inches of rain, looks like Friday into Saturday. Hurricane Center says this only has about a 40% chance of development over the next few days as it does make its way off towards the west. As we take a look at the latest in the computer models, it's showing going right into around the New Orleans area, southern parts of Mississippi, and then making a turn off towards the north eventually. So, like I said, a little bit of rain from this, but I don't think we're going to see too much more than that as we head towards Friday and Saturday. For today, no rain in our forecast. We're just looking at a high around 94, maybe 95 today. Generally partly cloudy skies. We'll see southwesterly winds anywhere between about 3 and 8 miles per hour. Heat index today will be up there, say 102 to 104. So make sure you stay hydrated if you're going to be outside. Make sure you take those breaks into the AC from time to time, especially if you're out for an extended period of time. Looks like this weekend we'll start to dry out a little bit on Sunday, and next week looks pretty dry. We'll have a complete 7-day forecast for you coming up in weather, and that'll be here in just a few minutes.
The search continues this morning in Kerr County for those missing after the deadly July 4th flood.
Officials now confirming 107 people have died in Kerr County alone, with 131 dead statewide. According to Governor Greg Abbott, that number of missing people that has now dropped to 97 as crews work to verify reports and account for survivors. Now, if those still missing aren't found alive, this would become the second most deadly natural disaster in Texas history, surpassed only by the Galveston hurricane of 1900. Now, meanwhile, Texas country singer Pat Green, he's going to hold a live stream benefit concert this evening.
Yeah, Green's brother, his brother's wife, and 2 of their children were among those lost in the floods. It's happening tonight at Globe Life Field. It'll be streamed on YouTube with no audience in attendance. Other artists, including Miranda Lambert and Dierks Bentley, will also perform or appear at the show. The concert begins at 6:30. First responders from Jasper County are working to help their fellow first responders in Central Texas dealing with the aftermath at Ground Zero.
Yeah, they're hosting a flood relief drive this Friday with all the proceeds going directly to the Hill Country. The benefit that's going to be set up at Do Good Federal Credit Union on South Wheeler in Jasper, and it starts at 10 a.m. You get a barbecue sandwich, chips, cookies, and bottled water for $10, and they will deliver. They're also accepting monetary donations. Now, the proceeds, they're going to help replace lost and damaged equipment for Hill Country first responders. You can visit the Beech Grove VFD Facebook page for more information.
And we've partnered with other TEGNA TV stations in Texas for our flood relief drive. You've already helped us raise more than $442,000. The money will provide direct support to flood victims. Scan that QR code to make a donation. Switching gears now, a Little Cypress Mauriceville family is offering advice this morning after a fire destroyed their wooden home over the weekend.
Yeah, the homeowners say it was uninsured due to difficulty securing coverage. 12 News reporter Derek Jones, he has more. Derek?
Mark and Tia, owner Catherine Borrell says she always wanted a log cabin style home. Now 43 years later, her dream home is destroyed, all thanks to a water heater that caused an electrical fire. Borrell says the home was declared a total loss. Between her husband's health problems and losing their homeowner's insurance 2 years ago, she says rebuilding is not an option. We spoke to Braden Powell, co-owner of Goosehead Insurance, who says non-renewals happen more often than you think.
risky, they can deny you or deem you ineligible. Foundation material. There are some companies that won't touch a house that's not on a slab.
Powell says the message here is that if your insurance company demands repairs or changes to your property, get it done, especially in the midst of hurricane season when new policies can be few and far between. He says if hurricanes were to threaten the Gulf area, insurance companies will not write new policies. In studio, Derek Jones, 12 News.
We're going to have to wait until later this month to see what's next for Beaumont's game rooms and gaming machines. The City Council, they denied a proposal Tuesday that would have limited game rooms to industrial areas only. Now, the city's planning department had recommended the plan, saying that it would protect neighborhoods. The department said that it would also keep the rooms and 8-liner machines from operating in low-income or vulnerable communities. But during yesterday's meeting, council members moved to revisit the issue again at the next meeting on July 29th. An outright ban, that is still possible.
Over in Jasper, game rooms now have 90 days to shut down. The City Council voted to ban businesses with 8-liner machines Monday night. The move will close down 8 businesses. No council members opposed the decision. And now it's time for your morning rush with some of the top stories this morning.
Yep. First up, the trial for a Finette man charged in a deadly fentanyl case is going to continue today. Harry Lowenthal is charged with manslaughter. Prosecutors say that he delivered the fentanyl that killed John Janice in 2023. The defense, however, says that there's doubt about whether Lowenthal actually provided those drugs. We'll keep you posted as the trial continues.
Testimony will continue today in a Port Arthur man's murder trial. 23-year-old Stephen Angel is charged in the 2021 shooting death of Jacoby Rubin. Prosecutors say they had an argument on social media and agreed to meet up where their fight was caught on video. After the fight, they say Angel shot Rubin. His first trial ended in a hung jury back in February.
And Texas death row inmate Robert Robertson could get a new execution date today. He was convicted of killing his 2-year-old via shaken baby syndrome, but experts have since discredited that theory. Robertson was supposed to be put to death last fall, but dozens of Texas lawmakers intervened asking for clemency. The hearing starts later this morning.
Across the nation now to California, where people say an American Idol music supervisor and her husband were murdered in their LA home. They say Robin Kay and Thomas DeLuca, both 70, were shot during a robbery. Authorities say the suspect, 22-year-old Raymond Bouderian, yesterday. Investigators say he broke into the couple's home Friday while they were away and shot them when they got back home. The couple wasn't found until Monday afternoon.
Well, this morning, the relentless calls for the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files, they are pitting President Trump and his attorney general against members of their own party. ABC's Perry Russum has the details.
This morning, President Trump pushing back on calls from his base to release the Jeffrey Epstein files.
He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is.
The comments coming just after Trump again backed Attorney General Pam Bondi in her decision to withhold thousands of documents and videos about the investigation into the sex offender, despite the president's campaign promise to release the files.
Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release.
Bondi says the unreleased files contain graphic details about child abuse and will not be made public. The decision drawing calls for her resignation.
I'm going to be here for as long as the president wants me here.
House Democrats pushed for a resolution to force the release within 30 days. It failed, with only one GOP member supporting it. But more Republicans now starting to question why Bondi will not release the full file.
I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody.
Some Republicans want Epstein's convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell to testify before Congress.
This is one of the worst human trafficking rings in American history, run by this scumbag. And I think the more we know about it, the more we get out there, the better it is.
Conservative commentators and podcasters who helped amplify Trump's platform during the 2024 campaign now slamming the administration's lack of transparency.
Everything he campaigned on, I believe he wanted to do. And now he's doing the exact opposite thing.
Joe Rogan mocking the DOJ and the FBI to his 20 million subscribers over the administration's handling of the files.
They've got videotape, and all of a sudden they don't. Kash Patel said there's nothing you're looking for. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to push back.
Right. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Up next on 12 News Plus, serious concerns are growing as more floods threaten areas already hit by heavy rain. Plus how the rising temps affect your appetite in the summer. It's now 7:40.
And quiet today here in Southeast Texas, but we will see some rain as we head towards Friday into Saturday. We'll talk about how much rain and how that tropical system will affect Southeast Texas coming up in weather.
We're working to get more information from Beaumont Police.
Join 12 News weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m.
We bring you the latest breaking news.
And keep you safe when weather impacts your day.
Following the excitement with your team.
Covering local issues that matter in your community.
Watch 12 News at 6 and 10 p.m. and stream on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you.
And together, we can make a difference.
Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
Are you looking for qualified employees? You'll find them at the 12 News Job Fair, Thursday, July 24th at the MCM Elegante from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Collect applications, do initial job screenings, or hold complete interviews. The 12 News Job Fair is attended by hundreds of applicants ready to work. Call 409-833-7512 to find out how you can be a part of the 12 News Job Fair, July 24th at the MCM Elegante. Reserve your booth today.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn, here with another hurricane tip, protecting yourself against damaging wind. Secure or bring inside outdoor items such as lawn furniture and trash cans to prevent them from endangering property or people. Trim or remove trees close enough to fall on your home and protect windows with permanent storm shutters or sheeting. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Serious concerns are growing about more flooding in areas already hit by heavy rains earlier this week, especially along the East Coast. From Florida to the Northeast, more rain is expected today. ABC's Andrew Denvert has the details.
This morning, parts of the East Coast are bracing for more severe weather after days of heavy rain and flooding. A state of emergency declared in Petersburg, Virginia. A creek in the city topping 15 feet, flooding neighborhoods. Some backyards accumulating up to 18 inches of water. In the Northeast, that same system bringing up to 7 inches of rain to some areas. In Plainfield, New Jersey, 2 women were killed when their car was swept into a brook. Nearby, this home caught fire and exploded due to an apparent gas leak. Luckily, the family had already evacuated because of flash flood warnings. The heavy rain inundated New York City transit, water flowing into subway stations and cars. Now, as severe weather events like this become more frequent, insurance companies are raising rates. Next month, homeowners in Illinois with State Farm Insurance will see an increase of 27%. In the West, multiple fires are burning out of control. In Oregon, the Cram Fire scorching more than 40,000 acres with 0% containment.
That fire grew very quickly. We had a bunch of tankers on it, and it still was just really resistant to any suppression efforts.
South of Denver, the Turner Gulch Fire exploding in size since Monday, destroying more than 12,000 acres. An evacuation order for the area remains in effect. In the Grand Canyon, fire crews continuing to battle the Dragon Bravo fire as extreme temperatures fuel the flames. Farther north, hundreds of fires are currently burning in Canada, and that smoke is now spreading into the U.S. Air quality alerts issued this week for parts of the Midwest. The smoky skies seen over Chicago are similar to what many Americans experienced back in 2023, when smoke from Canadian wildfires made its way into the U.S., creating some of the worst air quality in the world.
7:44 on this Wednesday morning. If you're heading out to work this morning, got to get there by 8 and won't run into any problems for this morning. Mostly sunny skies, just a few high clouds out there. Here's the view from the Horseman's Western Store over in Orange on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. Currently showing 80 degrees, humidity at 93%. As we look downtown with our Pack of the Parade camera, you can see mostly clear skies. Really not much showing up there. Maybe a few high clouds off in the distance. Currently showing 80 degrees downtown, humidity 84% with a southwesterly wind, very light at about 1 mile an hour. Generally middle 70s across southeast Texas right now. A lot of locations reporting 75. Jasper, Silsbee, Beaumont, Orange, Port Arthur, all at 75. Slightly cooler in Kirbyville, 73, and then 74 in Woodville. As we check satellite and radar across the state, very quiet, which is great news, especially out towards central Texas, the hill country. No rain to deal with this morning. Looks like they've been dealing with rain the last few mornings. Nothing to deal with for this morning, so good news for those folks to help recover. As we head out towards the eastern Gulf, that's where we're looking at for a possibility of some development here. Area of low pressure up near Panama City, kind of in between Tallahassee, Panama City. So it is partially over land. Very disorganized, nothing too organized here, which is great news because we don't need it to organize. As it moves off towards the west, looks like there is a possibility it might kind of re-enter into the Gulf for a little bit before it makes its way into Louisiana, and that might be a short-term chance there for maybe it to develop into a tropical depression. We'll continue to watch it. At this point, it looks like it won't be really affecting us except for maybe a little bit of rain. It's only got a 40% chance of development right now over the next few days. It looks like by late tomorrow night into Friday, this will be moving right into Louisiana. Places like New Orleans and Baton Rouge might get 6 to 8 inches of rain from this, while by the time it gets over towards us, the rain should thin out. We were looking at about 1 to 3 inches of rain. So definitely not looking at the heavier rains that they're going to see over parts of Louisiana. And whether it becomes a tropical depression or not, we'll get some rain. Right now, chances kind of iffy that it will develop into that. Here's the latest computer models indicating possibility of a track, and that takes us right over towards eastern parts of Louisiana and then kind of drifts it off towards the north. So like I mentioned, we'll catch some rain. I think that's about it. Today, nothing to talk about as far as any rain. We climb up into the middle 90s. It will be hot and humid. Make sure you stay hydrated if you're going to be outside. Rain chances less than 10%. 80s this evening, and then overnight we'll see temperatures back down into the 70s to start off on Thursday. Thursday starts off dry. At the end of the day, we could see a few showers though. Partly cloudy today, those middle 90s. For tonight, back down into the middle to lower 70s with a light southwesterly wind. And then here comes that rain Friday into Saturday. 70% coverage on Friday, 50% on Saturday. By Sunday, that rain coverage drops to about 20%, maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain over that time period. And then Monday and Tuesday of next week, hot and dry again.
You know, as soon as those spaghetti models start popping up on the screen, my anxiety goes up.
Spaghetti models.
No. Or the cone of uncertainty, I start hedging my bets. I'm like,
well, there's no cone. Hopefully they will not issue one. And those spaghetti models look great to me because they take everything over into parts of Mississippi and Louisiana. We don't want those folks to be impacted too much. But right now it looks like it's just going to be a rainmaker. Not much to talk about as far as wind.
And Jeff, we trust you. All right, Jeff, stay on top of it. Thanks a lot. All right, it is Christmas in July on 12 News Daybreak. We are giving away tickets for a family of 4 to Moody Gardens on Wednesdays in the 6 a.m. hour. We're going to announce our grand prize winner next week, and that's going to include that 4-pack of tickets and a night at the hotel and a round of golf for one. So go to 12newsnow.com/contest to enter.
It's only going to keep getting hotter across southeast Texas as we creep toward August. And this morning we're taking a look at how those rising temps affect your health, specifically your appetite. The problem, we need lots of energy for summertime activities, but we don't eat as much. You were just talking about not eating.
I'm so hungry. I didn't eat one of my main meals yesterday. Well, food, it acts as fuel for our bodies, yet most of us just aren't very hungry when it's hot out, and that's true. So why is that? Well, Mandy Gaither explains.
As temperatures keep going higher, your appetite may be getting smaller, and researchers say there's a reason for this. Science.
It actually has to do with the thermic effect of food. So we're not as hungry in the heat because our bodies don't want to get overheated.
Registered dietitian Julia Zumpano with Cleveland Clinic says digesting food and stockpiling its nutrients uses energy, which generates heat. If your body is already hot, it may not want any more heat.
Generally and naturally, our appetites just drop in the summer and in the hotter months.
Even if you're not as hungry, Zumpano says it's still important to have a balanced diet. She says to choose the most nutrient-dense foods possible, like fresh fruits and veggies, and make sure you're getting enough protein. You might opt for ones that aren't as heavy.
Proteins can come from meats or fish, but it can also come from things like eggs and beans and dairy sources like cottage cheese and Greek yogurt.
And finally, Zumpano says digestion can slow down when you're dehydrated, so make sure to drink plenty of water.
Even focusing on hydrating foods can be very helpful, like watermelon and lettuce and celery and cucumbers, cherries and citrus fruits and strawberries. So all of those foods can be very hydrating, in addition to, of course, increasing your fluid intake.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The lack of appetite must be our inner beach bodies trying to get out in the summertime.
I guess so. I don't know. I assume the hotter it is, the more you'll be hungry. You know, like I guess the hotter it is, the more thirsty you are.
I was just thinking, how many Sonic slushies I have definitely goes up quite a bit in the summertime.
Interesting tips there. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on 12 News Plus.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue,
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers,
filtering out rumors, and giving you the facts, direct from inside sources.
ExxonMobil and lawyers for the United Steelworkers
Taking on the story from all sides.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last year.
Southeast Texas is a power city, and we're bringing the power to you. Sponsored by Sabine Equipment.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, "Don't mess with Texas," means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
It's hard to really come to terms with dementia. There are little things that you can't even begin to plan for that happen that you need the early diagnosis for. My mom has done so much for me. There's no way that I wouldn't do the same for her. It's so important to have the conversation with your doctor earlier because you just do not know what the future holds.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip, evacuating correctly. If local authorities advise you to evacuate, do so immediately and without delay. Bring your emergency kit and be sure to follow evacuation routes. Do not try to take shortcuts because they may be blocked. Also remember to eat and get enough sleep for you to deal with whatever stress that may come your way. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back to Daybreak. It's 7:54 right now, and it's time for your morning rush out.
Here's everything you need to know as you start your day. Traffic lights at certain intersections in Beaumont have some slats on them. This means when you're driving, you can't tell what color the light is until you get closer. The city says they're set up at 6 major intersections to reduce confusion, reduce your speed, and minimize crashes. The most recent installation is at 11th and Washington. The city may add more if needed.
And we'll have to wait to see what's next for Beaumont's game rooms and 8-liner machines. City Council denied a proposal Tuesday that would have limited them to just industrial areas. The Planning Department recommended that plan to protect neighborhoods and vulnerable communities. The City Council, they're going to revisit this issue on July 29th. That's their next meeting. An outright ban, that's still a possibility.
First responders in Jasper County are working to help their counterparts in the Texas Hill Country. They're hosting a flood relief drive Friday at Do Good Credit Union on South Wheeler in Jasper at 10 a.m. You can get a barbecue sandwich with fixings for $10, and they're also accepting monetary donations. Visit the Beech Grove VFD Facebook page for more info.
Hot and dry today. We'll see temperatures in the middle 90s, the heat index over 100, so be careful out in the heat. Start to see a few showers late Thursday, and then Friday into Saturday, I think we'll catch some rain from that tropical system that's going to be moving into, looks like Louisiana late tomorrow into Friday. Maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain through Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday looks like it's going to be a little drier with just a few showers hanging around. Monday into Tuesday, once again, we go back to some hot and dry weather with highs into the middle 90s for both Monday and Tuesday afternoon.
Here's a reason to smile. Jasper County Sheriff Chuck Havard and his son, Newton County Sheriff Colton Havard, met DJ Daniel this week. He's been battling brain cancer and is on a mission to be sworn in as an honorary officer at as many departments as he can across the nation. He has succeeded at over 2,800 so far. The Havards say that they had to laugh when DJ saw them because DJ did a double take and said, "Y'all look alike."
He'll be sworn in into Jasper and Newton County as well. He's making moves.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
All over the place.
Yeah, he was up there at the White House being sworn into Secret Service as well at the beginning of the year. That's great. No, good for DJ. Well, thanks so much for watching us here on 12 News Daybreak on 12 News Plus.
I'll be back here with Carrie Cooper at midday, 11 a.m.
Have a great day, everybody.